Since those who have died are also members of the communion of saints, it is the belief of the Catholic Church that the living can help whose purification from their sin is not yet completed, not only by prayer but also by obtaining indulgences for them. Since the church on earth has no jurisdiction over the dead, indulgences can be gained for them only by an act of intercession.
By an act of intercession, right?
Right.
So now, here what we have, I wanted to set up the understanding of purgatory, asking for these indulgences to get people out of purgatory or hell, and why someone alive is thought to be able to do that. Because the Catholic Church teaches, hey, we all one in Christ, right? So even if you died, what if that church member was on their way to hell? You can get them out. And people believe this, right? Now, why am I reading about this? Because of this. And we're going to end it with the Black Death. Anybody ever heard of the Black Death?
Yes, the Great Plague.
The Great Plague that killed, they say, like half of Europe's population in the so-called Dark Ages, happened in the 14th century. Any of y'all ever heard that? For those of y'all who don't know, y'all ever heard of the song Ring Around the Rosies? Yeah. Do y'all know that song come from the Black Plague?
Right.
Oh, y'all knew that. Okay, so yeah, y'all been studying. Ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. It was a song that the kids sung to describe the disease they seen killing all the grown folk and even some of their friends. That's where the Ring Around the Rosie song come from the Black Plague in Europe. I want to read about it and see how the Black Plague hurt the Catholic Church and almost destroyed it. And what did they do to get back? Go ahead, Brother Judah. Black Death. That's Black Death right there. Go ahead and read that right quick. Only the underlined portions.
Some historians believe the pandemic began in China or Central Asia. The total number of deaths worldwide is estimated at 75 million people, approximately 25 to 50 million of which occurred in Europe.
Out of 75 million, 2/3 of it, it's like 65, 66% of it happened on the continent of Europe. Go ahead.
The Black Death is estimated to have killed 30 to 60% of Europe's population.
Wow. Brothers and sisters, y'all see Europe. I know some of y'all may have seen Europe. You've been to Europe. Can you imagine half of the European population dying? Or half of America? We're supposed to be about 300 million people here. 150 million people just dying. Half the country just died. This ain't no joke. Go ahead.
The Black Death is estimated to have killed 30 to 60 of Europe's population. It may have reduced the world's population from an estimated 450 million to between 350 and 375 million in 1400.
This hurt the world. Go ahead.
The 14th century eruption of the Black Death had a drastic effect on Europe's population, irrevocably changing the social structure. It was arguably a serious blow to the Catholic Church.
What? Wait, hold on. The Black Plague was a serious blow to the Catholic Church. Why? Because everybody who died was basically Catholic.
Yeah.
Europe is a Catholic country, is it not? And half of the church membership dies.
60, up to 60%.
What church wouldn't be affected if half your members just died? Half of the Catholic Church died. Go ahead.
In some regions, the toll was higher than one half of the population. Towns were especially hard hit because of crowded conditions. Large areas of land were left sparsely inhabited, and in some places, fields were left unworked.
So land is being left empty, farms not being worked. Continue.
Because of the sudden decline in available laborers, the price of wages rose as landlords sought to entice workers to their fields.
So it was so many people dying that people who owned land and couldn't get nobody to work because their workforce is just dying from this plague, they increasing how much they willing to pay whoever left alive to come. I just need y'all to do this. I need y'all to farm the land for me. Continue.
Workers also felt that they had a right to greater earnings, and popular uprisings broke out across Europe.
So uprisings and rebellion started because people who wasn't willing to pay more, cats was like, yo, y'all gotta pay more, even more than you offering. Rebellion, agriculture, economy, everything is being affected when half the tax-paying base died. Is that not correct? Continue.
The period of stress paradoxically witnessed creative social, economic, and technological responses that laid the groundwork for further great changes in the early modern period. It was also the period where the Catholic Church was increasingly divided against itself. During the time of the Western Schism, the church was led by as many as 3 popes at one time.
How many of y'all know that? Y'all remember just like in the days of Christ when it would be 2 or 3 high priests at one time in Israel? The Catholic Church was getting so bent up and broke over how to deal with this problem. You had 2 or 3 guys like, no, I'm Pope. No, I'm Pope.
So they witnessed a creative social, economic, and technological response.
Right. People trying to figure out how to live. So you got all of this going on, but what the church made an economic a way to deal with it losing all of its money. Go ahead.
The practice of granting papal indulgences, fairly commonplace since the 11th century.
So we know indulgence has been a part of their religion, but they about to change it. Remember, you didn't have to pay no money necessarily to get an indulgence for a dead loved one. You could just do acts of kindness. All of that. Go ahead. Look at this, though.
The practice of granting papal indulgences, fairly commonplace since the 11th century, was formulated and explicitly monetized in the 14th century.
Do y'all know what that means?
It had to be made money.
It was made totally. They said that indulgences in the 14th century during the Black Plague were made explicitly monetized. Meaning the Catholic Church, there is no way now to get indulgences from the priest and the Pope unless you pay for them. Ain't no righteous acts. You could be the most wicked cat. How much money you got?
That's it.
That is evil. That is the love of money at one of its greatest heights. I understand why people think the Catholic Church is that woman, but no, she's just carrying on her mother's ways. Go ahead.
Indulgences became an important source of revenue for the church. Revenue that filtered through parish churches to bishops and then to